In today's video, we'll be searching for what many call the rarest trout in the US, the Gila trout. Locked away in remote and rugged desert canyons of the Southwest, the evolutionary history of the Gila trout defies belief. During glacial periods around 1 million years ago, this species' ancestors moved freely between the mountains and the ocean, traveling up rivers via the Gulf of California. As our climate warmed, the Southwest transitioned into what it's become today, much warmer and much drier. As such, the rivers those ancestors used dried as well. But some remained. In secluded headwaters in New Mexico and Arizona, distinct populations evolved into the Gila trout we know today. Speaking of secluded headwaters, that's exactly where I'm heading. On a 3-day backpacking trip down deep in this rocky gorge, little Gila trout swim. But finding them will be a challenge like I've never experienced before. A lot will go wrong. Rods will break, heat stroke will knock at my door, and plans will need to change. But eventually, I'll get the opportunity to catch these incredibly unique, incredibly rare trout. Here we go, here we go, here we go, baby. Yes! Yes! Oh, baby, working hard all day. First Gila trout in my life, and it's a really nice one. Oh my God, yes! Yes, that feels so good. Okay, before I start the climb down, I have to show you guys this because it really made an impact on me. This is an agave plant. Most agave plants don't have 20-foot tall flowers on top of them, but this one did. Why? Well, it turns out agave plants flower only once in their lifetime, right before they die. They use all of their existing energy and send up a massive stalk topped with rows of flowers and eventually seeds. It's a visual representation of the cycle of life. To me, it's deeply sad and impressive and beautiful all at once. As I stood next to this plant, I thought about the time it had spent on top of this cliff, likely 30 years or more, and I thought about the next generation it would soon be supporting. I also thought about my own life. It's easy to get into your own head when you're out alone in the wilds, after all. And I'm definitely not ready to send up my own flowers just yet. I've got too many adventures ahead of me, hopefully. But I don't know, it just made me think about how time just keeps marching on, but nature, us included, tries its best to find a way. That's a hard pill to swallow, but I think it can also inspire us to make the most of what time we do have here, because in a way, that's all we can do. Thanks for the inspiration and the introspection, agave. You did well. The trail dropped sharply as morning light bounces off the canyon walls. It was loose and steep, and 1,000 feet of descent stood in my way. I made good time, only stopping to take a look at the various plants and insects along the way. But the Gila trout called, and as the day kept heating up, the reward of wading into the cold and clear water pushed me forward. After finally reaching the bottom, I realized just how much of a pain it was going to be to hike out of here in the coming days. But luckily, that was a problem for future me. I ended up hiking a good ways along the creek until finding a nice flat section to call home. Let me give you guys a quick tour of what I brought down here with me for these 3 days. All this crap here, this is nothing you need to know about. This is just camera gear. Don't worry about that. It weighs about 5 pounds. One water bottle. We're going to be next to the creek, so that should suffice. Fishing gear. We've got our fly box, the handy pack net, really awesome little net for backpacking, and just a little bag full of some tippet, etc. Food. Big old bag of food. I am hoping to cook some really good stuff while I'm down here, treat myself right, but we'll get into that when we actually get to cooking. Got a little cheap, flimsy cutting board, nice and lightweight. It works. Sunscreen, of course. We're in the desert after all. Inside here is all my cooking equipment. We've got a skillet, mug, knife, lighter, pot lifter, stove itself, a spork, and some aluminum foil to use as a lid. We've got the hammock, a tarp, a bug net, and some stakes, neoprene booties, some more camera crap, some extra dry pants for nighttime, a beanie in case it gets chilly. And then in here I've got 2 quilts, one to go underneath my hammock to keep my underside warm, a 20 degree for the top, and then a puffy jacket for around camp. We've got a little small backpacking pillow and 2 Tenkara rods, and that's gonna do it for these 3 days down here in the canyon. I'm gonna live off of these items only. Now that I made a mess with my backpack out here, let's get the hammock set up. I'm gonna go between this tree here and this guy over here. Got a pretty cool strap system on here. Just goes right around and kind of clips onto itself with it's called a Dutch beaner, like a carabiner kind of alternative. And I've got 2 little triangles next to the hammock that I can cinch up. I basically just try to get it remotely level, tighten it up, and we're good to go. Always, always a little apprehensive the first time getting in there. All right, yeah, this is gonna do just fine. What a beautiful campsite. So cool. All right. Got nice clear water down here, but I am going to purify it with my SteriPen. It just uses a little bit of UV light, kills any nasty viruses or bacteria. Well, I don't think I want to cook anything hot for lunch, but I am definitely getting hungry and also a little bit sleepy. So I think I'm gonna make some tea and whip out this little charcuterie board that I made here in the cooler. Got some nice cheddar cheese, some olives. So we'll have a nice cold snack for lunch. And I think after that, it's time to start exploring the waters and seeing if we can find some Gila trout.
Lunch complete, I made my way to the water. It's a beautiful little hole with ample room to cast, so I rig up my 12-foot Tenkara rod co Yari. This rod has a bit of fiberglass in it, casts like a dream, and should be perfect for the fish size I was anticipating. Of course, I'm still fresh and ignorant at this point, and unfortunately over the next little bit I was going to learn the hard way that things weren't going to go so smoothly. Can you see the creek behind all those trees? Yeah, that's about what I'll be contending with for the rest of the day. Seeing sights like these, I immediately switched out my 12-foot rod for a 10-foot rod. But honestly, if I had known it was going to be this tight down here, I'd have brought something even shorter. 6 to 7 feet would have been way better. But what could I do? I had to work with what I chose to bring.
And that's what made this right here so devastating. Listen for the snap. I'm in total disbelief here and beyond upset with myself. I whipped that rod tip so perfectly against a branch that it snapped right in two. It was my fault entirely, and it was a huge blow to my ability to fish this creek effectively. At this point, with half the day over and not a hole in sight that wasn't choked with trees, I felt totally defeated. I sat by the creek for quite a while. I had 2 more full days here, but for what? I couldn't see a way to make this work. But a little time passed, I soaked in the beauty around me and tried to let it heal my soul just a little bit. I had to keep trying, so I left the water and began hiking, hoping against hope that I'd find some fishable water with the gear I now had at my disposal. I hiked a ways, maybe a couple miles. The wind picked up, sapping the moisture right out of the air, and the temperatures soared. I continued on. But I never found that fishable opening. All I found was fatigue and dizziness. I'm down to push my limits and take some calculated risks, but the potential for heat stroke combined with the fact that I was alone and far away from rescue seemed a step too far. I really was not feeling well. As I was hiking further and further, I could see in my GPS, a spot that potentially looks like it could be a little bit more open. But the trail just kept gaining elevation and just kept going up and up and up. And I never could find that opening. And as the trail kept going up, it was just a sheer drop off. Really, really inhospitable land here. And I didn't see a way down to it, even if I could see it, which I didn't. And the more I pushed, really the more that I felt like, maybe I could potentially be getting a heat stroke almost, I'm sweating like crazy. It's really hot out here. I'm drinking as much water as I can, but it's not a position you want to put yourself in when you're out in the middle of nowhere and help could be hours away. So I turned around. I'm back at camp now. I'm pretty disappointed. Pretty disappointed in myself. I wish I don't know if I could have studied this place a little bit more, or I should have put, my absolute shortest rod in the pack. God, it's like 3 ounces. Like, why wouldn't I bring, something super, super small? But this is the situation I find myself in. So I don't know. I've got to think about it a little bit, but still happy to be here. Still happy to be around such beautiful sights and sounds. Time to relax. After a couple hours, the sun had dipped a bit lower. I felt a lot better, and I decided to set out once more against the odds. This time, downstream, to unexplored waters. And to my surprise, things were still tight, but looking slightly better. I'm back at it. I'm all healed up. And man, all I want is one fish. We're racing sunset at this point. In we go. I'm trying a little downstream presentation real quick. Mostly because I don't want to spook the fish. And because I actually have some proper casting here. A little bit of room. I can swing it in and let the current take it down.
That's the best presentation I've made all day here. One of few. Nobody in this hole. We're gonna keep moving, and hopefully we can find another hole where I can actually make a cast here with this way too long rod of mine. Dang. Thought we might get lucky on this one. But no.
By the way, if you like watching my videos and are thinking of buying a Tenkara rod from Tenkara Rod Co., which you should be because they're solid rods backed by good dudes with excellent customer service, you can use the coupon code flickyflies for 15% off any purchase on their website. I'll receive a small cut if you use this code, and it seriously helps a lot. If you do, thanks so much. And if not, no pressure. I still appreciate you being here watching. At this point, I had fished for another hour or so, with not a fish in sight. I was beginning to lose hope.
Dang. Even the dirty dab, they don't want it. In fact, I don't even see a trout. I haven't seen a trout yet. Haven't spooked anything that I've seen. I'm sure, I mean, I know I have, but man, this is tough going. This has been a really hard day. Not how I imagined it, but we're gonna keep persevering a bit longer. Oh, I hope we can find one. I really do.
And we will. I finally lucked into a deep pool behind a little log jam that had just enough room to dab my fly in. I still can't believe I hadn't caught or seen a thing up until this point, but in these next few holes, I'll more than make up for it, because I'll catch my first Gila trout ever, and then a few more, with one being quite the sizable catch.
Oh, this feels incredibly hopeless. The wind is going upstream a little bit though, so I'm just kind of letting my dry fly through the air, get up in this pocket. This is a very good looking hole. Where are the fish at though? Oh my God, oh my God, it was a bite. Oh my God, oh my God. First sign of life all day. Nice fish, nice fish, nice fish. Okay, please stay on. I'm in a decent spot here. Not the worst. Here we go, baby. Yes, yes. Oh, baby, working hard all day. First Gila trout in my life, and it's a really nice one. Oh my God, yes. Yes, that feels so good. Oh my God, worked so hard for this Gila trout. What an absolute gem. Beautiful, beautiful fish. I am happy. I was thinking that was going to be the last hole, but this is by far the best looking pool so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one. He came up, ate it slow, real slow. Come on, let's get a repeat. Come on, buddy. There we go. A little dink, but I will absolutely take it after this hard day we've been having today. Okay, there's actually quite a few larger Gila trout chasing this guy around. Pop you over. There we go. All right, heck yes. Heck yes. Gila trout number 2. Check out the par marks on this little beauty. I'm assuming this is a Gila trout. This is, obviously my first time ever fishing for Gila. Let me know in the comments if there's a good way to identify the youngsters. Third Gila trout. Man, we really saved the day today, and I'm so happy about it. Ooh, yes, yes. This rod is way too long for this creek, but I will say, man, these fish feel incredible on the Yari. Tenkara Rodco Yari, got a little bit of fiberglass in the blank. If I had a little more room to cast, this would be the ultimate rod, for sure. Come here, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, love it, love it. That's a solid fish. I will take a Gila trout that size all day. What do we think? Can we get one more out of here? I honestly think so. Things have turned around in a major way. There we go. That's a nice fish. That's a nice one. This might be the bigger one that was bullying all the other ones I was catching. All right. What an awesome day. That's all it takes, man. Some fish, turn things around. I went from having a great time, enjoying the sights, to flirting with some heat stroke. And now we're on some beautiful Gila trout. My first ever time catching this species down here in southern New Mexico. What an adventure. Nice fish. Sun is getting low. I think after this we're gonna make our way back and cook up some dinner, sleep under the stars. Well, there we go. My personal best Gila trout. And man, what a looker. I love the subtle beauty of these Gila trout. Those fine spots, the golden hue, and that little pinkish blush that they have underneath it all. Beautiful fish. Heck yeah.
I ended up spending one more night in this canyon before hiking out in the morning. In the coming days, I'll explore 2 more creeks that ended up being even more scenic than I'd ever imagined. And I caught so many more of these special fish. Consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see those videos in the future. But for now, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.